Guys, I started the recording a little bit early. Michael doesn't know that The Bachelor has been announced and that it is spoiler warning, I guess. Grant. We'll see. I don't know where Michael is. I think he's peeing. Have you been on Twitter in the last 30 seconds?
Did they just announce it?
They announced it.
Wow.
Hey guys, welcome back to BachMakers, your favorite show that recaps all things Bachelor Nation. Before we continue with this episode, we're going to ask you very nicely, Michael, please deliver the news.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And share
In
it.
that order, or reverse the order. It doesn't matter to us. Just do those things. Helps us enjoy this episode. We'll see you. We'll see you in the episode. Just keep watching. All right. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Batchmakers. I'm Wyatt. That's Michael. No Lizzie today, sadly. Batchmakers presented by Good Time Media. Happy to have you here. The downfall of Sam M is here. That's the episode. This episode was Sam M just continuing to shoot himself in the foot. What we've been seeing all season long finally comes to an end. Lot to talk about, lot to unpack here. Michael, first thoughts?
I mean, we kind of knew this episode was going to be great, and it lived up to that. We got so many great memes out of this episode, which I think is a fantastic part of it. And we live for the hashtag on Twitter, the Bachelorette hashtag on Twitter was popping off tonight. Love to see that. That is the reason why we love this franchise, because everybody watches it live, and so you can get the live memes, live reactions, which is great. So great episode, and yeah.
So before we dive into the episode, there's a few outside headlines we need to talk about. First of all, let's clear up something we talked about last week. Towards the very end of the episode, if you watch the whole thing, we speculated on a rumor that was DM'd to us. It was about, again, spoiler warning if this is true. I'm starting to think there's another reason behind this, and I'll explain that.
I already forgot.
So the spoiler, or the DM I got was that potentially Sam M has a registry online, could be getting married this month. That was the DM I received. My dumb brain forgot to process the very beginning of this season where Sam M said that he was previously engaged and it got called off.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very reasonable explanation for that website to exist. I don't think there's much more to read into there, to be honest. Didn't process that.
Timeline would have been absolutely insane. So it makes sense. I mean, people get that website, a year and a half, maybe even 2 years in advance, depending on engagements or whatever. So yeah, that was silly how we didn't think about that.
We're so dumb. We really are.
Yeah.
We're the dumbest podcast on the planet. So I had to clear that up. We're probably very wrong there. Second of all, shout out to all our friends repping the Keep the Main Thing merch. Michael's got it on. I've got it on. Shout out to Austin posting about it. Shout out to Jeremy who has it. Shout out to Devin who has it. We love y'all. Thank you very much for the support. And as always, just keep the main thing. Available now if you want to buy one. I mean, he said it like 4 times this episode. It's incredible. He just kept feeding us more
promo. He gave us more promo with it. I was like, no way he keeps saying it. Now I think he knows it's a bit, and he keeps just diving into the bit.
And Mike, that's not how TV works. This was recorded 6 months ago.
I know, but like it is insane how he did have kind of multiple quotes, but the quote that happens to be on our merch is the one he happens to keep repeating on repeat. And other people from the season have also said it, I think, because they noticed Sam M saying it.
I like to think this is wishful thinking that the editors put one more in there for us. They saw this, it was trending. They're like, you know what? Let's throw one in for the boys. Let's give the fellows one more. And they probably grabbed one from a couple weeks ago and threw it in there. If so, thank you. We appreciate it. We won't hear any more. Keep the main thing. If someone else says it this season, that'll be wild. I don't see that happening.
Yeah. Maybe a Devin, ironically.
Yeah, Devin could pull one out as a joke. All right, and the other thing I want to bring up, this is so unrelated, but it was a great idea that was commented today. We will be having a fantasy football batchmaker draft. So if you want to join that and compete against us for this season of NFL football, stay tuned, but you have to be a member of our Patreon to join that. So link is in the description. So stay tuned for that, because I think that'd be a fun idea, Mike.
Yeah, we should get alums too, for sure.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Get some people involved. That'd be fun.
Jeremy, Dylan, for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's do quotes of the week. A few places we could go here. I don't have a ton of funny quotes. I guess they are funny because Sam M just sounded like an idiot this entire episode. That's not personal, but he just sounded it. What do you have? Where do you want to start?
Should we go through teams first? I mean, do you not want to talk about the teams?
What teams? Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, I'm talking about our fantasy teams that we drafted.
Oh, did we do that this season? I didn't remember.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
I'll go through Bailey's bruvs.
Okay. All right.
So we've got 2 of 4. Not much else to say. We said goodbye to 2 great soldiers tonight. Spencer, Grant. Sorry to see you go. But Jonathan and Jeremy, double J Jettas in a sense, kind of.
JJ.
Boom.
JJ to JJ.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
JJ keeping us alive. And by alive, I mean well out in front. So we'll take it.
I think you might have sealed the deal this week. I think it might be done. I don't know if there's a path for.
I was doing the.
I definitely am out.
Yeah, I was doing the math, and I think I did, because no matter what, one of my guys will be going past hometowns, right? Because I have 2 and 3 make fantasy. Unless both get eliminated at hometowns and she only takes 2 fantasy suites, then I think that's the only path where mathematically I'd be out, or Lizzie would have a chance with Devin. But I think I got it. But
and then we could talk at the end about where we think this is going to go, because I'm as confused as ever on where this is going to go. But yeah, my team, I have Marcus left. I mean, he could win this thing, and it won't make a difference for my team. The rest of it's just bad. It's bad coaching. I won't put this on the players. I didn't have my team ready to play this season. We got comfortable. It's hard to repeat in this league. We've talked about it. It's hard to repeat. Mm-hmm. I couldn't do it, and I let my team down, and I apologize, and we will be better for this. It's hard to build a dynasty. They're very rare, especially in this Batchmaker league. We'll be better, and we'll be back stronger. But Marcus, maybe finish strong. This is like winning the NIT if Marcus wins this. It's just good momentum to the offseason. So shout out to Marcus. Let's keep this train moving in the right direction. Let's do some quotes. A few that I wrote down. One non-Sam M one, because it's a very Sam M centric episode. Very early on, where I do have to apologize to Jeremy. I 100% thought he was going home, and rightfully so. He's kind of called me out, and I apologize. I did call him the Anthony Bennett of number 1 overall picks, and that was disrespectful, and I apologize, and I will do what I can to make it up to him. But he did say at the beginning of this episode, it might just be delusion at this point, but I still feel like there's something there.
The best for last. It might just be delusion at this point, but I still feel like there's something strong between me and Jenn. So
you don't say that if you're confident that this is going to work out. It's just like, I think maybe I'm delusional.
No, I think that's a funny thing. He's aware of the fact that he's the one person that hasn't got a 1-on-1 yet. And he's like, well, maybe it's delusion, but like. And when they were announcing the group date card, if his name was on there at that point, do you just leave? Do you just leave?
You
can say, all right, why am I still here? But yeah, that was a great quote. I wrote that down. I have a couple of like actions.
Go for it. Because then we can just kind of do a what was the dumbest thing Sam M said this episode quote off.
Yeah.
But what are your actions?
So the first one was when Marcus got announced for his 1-on-1. He opened up a gift, and it was the Screen Letterman jacket, and he took it out and started putting it on over his bomber jacket.
High school, man. No idea what the Letterman jacket is for, but
that he was already wearing. And I'm like, why are you wearing 2 jackets? And then they cut to him, and he's in the mirror, and he just has the Letterman jacket on. But I was just like, what was going through your head? Why didn't you just take off the jacket you had to put it on the Letterman jacket? So I thought that kind of just stuck with me for like 10 minutes after that happened. And I was like,
Was the
why?
whole point of the jacket just that it was green? Was that
Yeah,
it?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Because I don't think they wear that in the Wicked. They don't wear Letterman jackets in the Wicked or Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I didn't understand the reference besides the color. So there was no other deeper meaning there. Yeah, that was strange. The other thing about the Wicked date in action that stood out to me, I mentioned to you in our group chat during the episode, Jesse was on something during this promo for Wicked. I don't know if he was just happy to be back in the States after their trip abroad, but he brought an energy that was almost scary.
The Emerald City, I thought it would be so much fun to celebrate the new movie Wicked, which hits theaters this Thanksgiving. The movie is all about love, it's about adventure, and it's also about understanding someone's true character, all very important parts of today's date.
His promo for Wicked was like, it's coming to theaters in November. It's going to be great. I was like, Jesse, I understand we're plugging a movie here. He earned whatever ABC paid him. Whatever ABC paid him to sell this movie, well done, Jesse. Tip the cap.
I think he's gearing up for football season. He knows college football season is right around the corner. He's ready to call some games for Fox. He's gearing up.
Yeah.
Even though this was filmed in May.
He's in mid-season form already, and it's May.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's getting ready for the Golden Bachelor.
Yeah.
He's gearing up. Wait, no, if anything, he'd be toning down his tone. But I got some more.
What are the other action you had?
I guess. Yeah, on that date, they go up on the hot air balloon, and they kind of zoom out, and it's just Jenn and Marcus making out, and then there's a guy in a blue shirt with a hot air balloon company, and he's just like trying to like not look at them, but like look out in the view. But hot air balloon's not that big of a space.
No.
And they're just smacking on each other, and he's kind of just standing there like, okay.
Gosh. Okay,
getting paid.
Let's stay on that date because there was another really funny moment where when Jesse, they had the big green curtain, right? Before they unveiled the yellow brick road. And Jesse was going to pull this rope to open the curtain. You could very clearly see someone, probably an intern on the other side, holding the curtain together. You could see their fists through the curtain holding it, and then when Jesse pulled it, you saw them run and open the curtain.
Now it's time for the two of you to begin your own adventure. Here we go.
So the pulley system was non-existent. Jesse just pulled something, and then two interns just ran to the side and opened the curtain. It was really funny to see.
Which is pretty ironic for how much money they put into this date / time and effort and people they brought for this date, which is insane.
Also, kind of a deeper allegory for the true story of the Wizard of Oz, if you think about it. Like, man behind the curtain, it's just an ABC intern.
Even though Wicked is just a complete different story than Wizard of Oz, but
it's a connection. It's the prequel.
Yeah,
isn't Wicked a prequel?
It's a prequel, but like, it's a prequel, but it doesn't really. The stories don't really connect. It's just in the same universe.
All right. Well, it was funny to watch the little intern just scamper off and make Jesse pull this thing that doesn't do anything. Let's just get into the episode and all the quotes we can talk about Sam M as it comes up. So starts off, we get Marcus one-on-one. Everybody who's ever been a part of Bachelor Nation shows up this episode. It was just a play the hits Hall of Fame type deal. They had Charity, Daisy, Kelsey, Trista for 10 seconds. How much does Trista live in Seattle? Because do they pay for Trista to fly to Seattle to be there for 10 seconds just to say, hey, get on this hot air balloon?
Many, many years ago, I found love on the very same road.
Well, what they're doing, I think they're back in the States for the first time since the first night, right?
Yeah.
And so continental flights, way cheaper than international flights. So pay for a bunch of people to come for the 1 week they're in the US. It kind of makes sense. They saved, I guess, budget. But this whole date kind of felt like a bad skit in like a high school theater class, because it was like really scripted, obviously, with the lines that Charity was saying, like "There's no place like home." Well, in your case, hometowns, and I was just like, "Oh, that's cringe." And then "Let Your Love Defy Gravity," like "Defying Gravity," the song they were playing
It
after.
did feel like this was a high school theater budget, just based off
Yeah.
the props they had.
Mhm. It was kind of tough. All the lines, it was cringy, but like kind of wholesome
Yeah, they
and
spent the
clever.
whole
But
budget on getting Trista out there for 10 seconds. And they were like, well, let's
yeah,
just paint a yellow brick road and have them go around the corner on this little carriage ride. Because they got on the
Mhm.
carriage ride and Daisy like pushed them. I don't know if you noticed. Daisy pushed them and they just went around the corner.
So if I'm the only one investing today, then it's scary.
Like it's not like they went through the streets or anything. It was just right around the corner.
And that was from when they were picking slow or fast.
Yeah.
Right. And that they had these like options: hot or spicy or sweet or whatever, and then like slow or fast. And Marcus picked slow, which I think, if you just see two words and you're just picking one, I think slow is a valid answer.
Good call.
Kind of blown out of proportion in a bit.
Yeah.
And then fast, they open up the thing and it's just a bell.
It's a bell.
And I'm like, what the hell? They ring the bell, and Kelsey and Daisy come rolling around. I'm like, what the hell?
In the slowest possible form of
Yes.
transportation. You could walk
Yeah.
there faster. It's not fast. They lied. That's
Yeah.
not the. I want to know what the slow option was.
Yeah.
Walking? That's faster.
No, then that's when you bring out like the Golden Bachelorette cast or Golden Bachelor cast, and they're doing it. I guess
Rude.
I don't know.
Rude. Take
Okay.
it back. Take it back.
I mean, I think
No,
just
it's fair.
physically they would be slower.
But what was under the slow box?
I don't know.
What could
I don't think
possibly have
there
been
was-
under there?
I don't think they were. She wasn't gonna let him.
Yeah.
I don't think anything was under there because there wasn't a chance that
It was just
they
an
were gonna
arrow
get-
pointing to the fast box. Be like, try again.
like wait, yeah, like
Go.
it's
go,
empty.
It says go back to
Go
the
home.
start. Go back to jail. Move back 3 spaces.
Do not pass go. Collect $100. Wait, what is it? Do go to jail. Do not collect $200. Whatever,
Something like that.
something like that.
All right. Anything else from this date? We have, when they had to scream their feelings. A little awkward that Marcus screamed, "I like Jenn," because this is
Yeah, but she also said I like Marcus.
yeah, but it just felt weird at this point. Like you're very far along. I know they hadn't said those words, so it'd be even weirder if they said it for the first time then. But it's just a tough look to be like, I like you a lot.
Yeah.
I just feels
But I
like they
mean-
should be further along, even though they shouldn't be. I don't know, just a bad setup, I think.
They're they're in public,
Mhm.
and I don't think he wants to say I love you to Jenn and for the first time, screaming it on a yellow brick road with a bunch of Seattleians just roaming about. So
I like
I don't know.
turtles. That's the
Yeah.
same tone he screamed it at.
yeah.
Just tough.
Mhm.
And then we have the night portion of that date. Marcus opens up about his family. Jenn appreciates that. They have a nice little chat. What's up?
About like the whole thing, Jenn was like, I don't, I feel like he's not opening up. But their first one-on-one, the man opened up. I don't know if that was just me like
Good point.
interpreting that, but he was saying about he almost died and he got deep. He was crying. I remember I said I was kind of surprised that Jenn wasn't crying
Mm-hmm.
when Marcus was crying on their first one-on-one at the date part of it. And yeah, I was just like, I feel like he's opened up, but he opened up even more. And his story, just like the lore, is just doubled. I'm like, wow, this man's been freaking through it.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, you got to open up. I want him to open up more. I feel like you go, what else? What else do you want? It's kind of given a lot. That's basically, I hope that's it for his sake. I hope there's nothing else to really open up about, because if there's more layers to that, then our boy needs a hug. He already needs
Yeah.
one. But that Marcus gets the rose, First one moving on to hometowns. Shout out to the wise guys. Appreciate it. He's chugging along. We'll see how that goes. And then we move on to the group date, which is including who we got on this: Sam M, Devin, Spencer, Jonathan, Grant.
Yep.
And it was the radio. Sorry, blinked for a second. So they bring in more Bachelorette or Bachelor alumni with Jason and Molly, who I don't know at all. I know the names, but I don't know anything about them. And then I like this date. I thought this was fun. I think it's a cool setup, and I think the energy of it is good. And this is where Sam M just puts on a clinic, an absolute clinic of how to lose a girl in 10 minutes. That's exactly what Sam M did. It was tough to watch. He couldn't form a sentence on anything uniquely about Jenn. It was all these broad mantras about love and ferocious love and all that stuff. And then he gets oddly specific and says, I thought it was going to be Maria and Daisy.
I thought the Bachelorette was going to be Daisy or Maria.
Nail in the coffin. Nail in the coffin right there.
Can't say that one. You can't say that one, buddy.
My jaw was on
the floor.
You
can think. Yeah. Well, even before that, they were doing like a rapid fire round with all the guys in the room. Before it was just kind of the Sam M interrogation, one might say. And it was just fantasy suite. Sam M aggressive.
Sam, fantasy suite.
It's rapid fire. Aggressive.
What'd you say? Aggressive?
What the hell?
Well,
excuse me. What do you mean by that, buddy?
What do you mean by that?
Aggressive. Well,
what?
You could have said ferocious. You love that adjective.
That would have been just perfect. Ferocious would have been a great answer. Fantasy suites are gonna be ferocious. Yeah, that was bad. That was tough. And then another quote. One of these quotes by itself is enough to get sent home. He's got like 6 of them. The other one, he said, it was, "What was your first impression of me?" The first words he said, "Not my type."
How was your first impression of me, and how has that changed over time?
I got out of the limo. I'm like, okay, this girl is not my type. Like, this is that whole idea of like the
crazy. Like, what are we doing here, dude? Like, it's absolutely bonkers move. Be like, you know what? And then what was another quote he said? He said something about basically like you don't have any unique characteristics, or like the characteristics you have I could find in anybody.
Like I could find in anyone, and I'm just like, bro, come on.
Fact of the matter is that there's other people out there with the same characteristics of you.
I was thinking about when it was kind of Sam M and Jenn in the room on air. Obviously, that's got to be high pressure. That is so much pressure. I'll play devil's advocate again on Sam M's side. Sure. It was a lot of pressure. Anything you're saying into the mic is live to, I don't know how many viewers they have or listeners. But I also thought it'd be so funny listening to this live, not knowing a single thing about this journey or about Sam M or about Jenn at all. It would be objectively so confusing, and it would kind of make the show more entertaining as you're now watching.
Yeah.
But
I bet they assumed it was like a week 2 date when they were listening to it. Like, oh, this guy's not into her, so he's probably going home by now. And they're like, wait a second, it's almost hometowns. He's still here. Where's the radio date? Another thing, well, after saying all that, he pulls out old Reliable and says, "You know what, Jenn, despite everything I just said, love you."
I want this.
Because I love you.
Sam.
Stop.
I love you. Unbelievable.
Yeah. It was literally like a last resort. Let's use a love bomb. kind of like
Maddie.
a last ditch effort. Yeah.
It was Maddie the ex
Even-
and Sam M just saying last ditch effort, I love you to Jenn. And Jenn being
But-
like, what?
But Maddie at least had other things to say. Sam M she was just like, why me? Why me? Why me? He's like, I don't even, cause I love you.
The meme you
I love
sent
you, girl.
with the stadium pulse was
Yeah.
I was crying.
I mean, there was legit probably, she said, why me? Or like, what? I can't, what was the exact, or like, why?
Literally,
me?
why me?
Yeah. She said, why me? And for a solid 5 to 10 seconds, which could have been edited longer.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Sam M was just.
But why me? Sorry, I don't mean to like.
Great question.
Couldn't say anything. Oh my, it was. And then he was kind of making it about himself and his own journey. He kept doing that every conversation they had this episode. I wrote this down. I said Sam's kind of pulling like a politician debate masterclass of just deflecting questions and not answering them, and then bringing up something about themselves. That's what politicians do in debates.
Yeah.
To kind of deflect.
The tilt was deep this episode. The whole radio time he was. So why me, Sam? Well, listen, you say you want this ferocious love. That's what I want. I love your ability to say you want love, and I just love the way that I love you, and since night one, when I walked in, your energy, at first I was like, not my type, but your energy was there. So I was like, maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe Daisy and Maria will show up later. They didn't. So now I want this ferocious love. And that's just me keeping the main thing the main thing. That was it. That was the episode right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
honestly. It was,
unbelievable. But it continued.
Yeah. And it kind of, a couple weeks ago when Sam M's family was defending him and like, oh, you can be edited a certain way. Like, they're not showing the real story. How can you explain this? How can you say anything about editing? Yeah, maybe the editing emphasized some things, but holy crap. You can't say it was just the editing when 3 conversations they had all were like the same thing. And then another one on air was getting, which they have the records. They got the records.
Oh, I'm just imagining. So imagine that family group chat where, again, I've shouted out their family, like, protect your boy. I'm just imagining after like episode 2 when they were really defending Sam a ton. And they're like, all right, like, we did our job. We defended him. And then this episode happens. And they're like, Sam, you could have given us a heads up that this is how this thing ends. Because maybe we wouldn't have been so ride or die defending you, because this is tough to defend. That's a tough look. It's just over and over again. So Sam M's family probably being real quiet right now.
Yeah. It was tough, but honestly, a great end to a great villain story. I would say all villain stories have to come to an end, and we'll see him in paradise. I think that's a fact.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait for Mentello. I think Mentello is gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, unless Sam's getting
married
married this month, unless we were right.
If he's not there, it'd be terrible if he wasn't there. Honestly, we need him there.
Yeah,
and we need him in paradise too, because I don't know. I want to see like Leia and like some other girls like dig into him and like roast him, and I want him to find love, obviously, but maybe not on the beach.
Yeah, maybe not on the beach. Maybe a little humbling, because he didn't. One thing I think we were missing is a moment of, I wanted it so bad.
Humility.
I wanted Sam to have to walk into a room that Devin was in to grab his suitcase. That's all I wanted. How glorious of a moment would that have been if Sam M walks in, head down, tilted, of course, just moping, and Devin sees him grab his suitcase, and you see the biggest smile go on Devin's face. And then door closes. Well, I guess that's the main thing.
He kept the main thing.
The main thing.
Yeah.
Oh, what a moment. We missed that. Do better,
Yeah.
producers. We should have had that moment.
I mean, I kind of liked how they kept the Devin and Sam M drama kind of to a minimum the last 3 episodes, almost 2 episodes, 3 episodes ish, because they really didn't need to, because Sam M just made his own drama by just saying outlandish stuff.
Yeah, and Devin, arguably the quietest last couple weeks, or quietest run to hometowns. Last couple weeks kind of been quiet, under the radar, and just, I wouldn't say snuck into hometowns, but
good group dates.
Did what he needed to do. Not a highlight reel the last couple weeks, but just knew his role, did what he had to do. Speaking of hometowns, Jeremy's one-on-one. I doubted our boy. I apologized at the beginning of the show. I'll apologize again. It's on me. It's on me. Didn't think he'd make it this far. I didn't think there was a shot in hell that he'd make it to hometowns. And here we are. Jeremy, I do want to give him credit. On this date, he had a 5-second stretch where he looked like the coolest person to ever step foot on this franchise. He caught the fish that was thrown at him, winked at the guy, and then it cut to him doing the worm on the street.
Future Jeremy looks so exciting to me.
It was the coolest 5 seconds anyone's ever had on the show. And I have to give Jeremy his props because that was cool. That was the moment where I thought, you know what? Maybe this guy's got it. Maybe this guy's got something that could work for Jenn. And it was cool. So props to Jeremy, and I apologize. He's your guy, Mike. What'd you think?
Yeah. I mean, he's that all-star number 1 pick. You know, he's living up to the hype. Well, to the hype that I saw, what I believed in him. He's living up to that. He's got everything. He's got the humor. You know, he's cracking jokes, whether with the boys or with Jenn, making Jenn laugh, but also caring for her. A little thing that I thought was really sweet and endearing, one might say, when he asked to make a bouquet.
Yeah, it was cute.
Bouquet for her. That was a little above and beyond. Maybe not a huge gesture, but that's a little thing, and those little things matter. And then, just overall a great date. He seems so they seem themselves with each other, you know, and they seem super relaxed and comfortable with each other. And he seems very mature. And the dinner date, bringing up religion, that's tough, especially when you're not guaranteed a rose. You know, she's Buddhist, and you know you're Jewish. That's a big conversation to have.
I thought that was going to be the turning point. I thought that was the moment where it went south, and it didn't. Maybe this is destiny.
Yeah, pulling that out on the first, on your first one-on-one, knowing you're the last one-on-one guy to get a one-on-one, and you don't have a rose, and hometowns is next week, and bringing up religion, and then talking about hey, I want to raise my kids Jewish, and then making a joke about Jewish Buddhist kids, which is, he laughed at it. I was like, yeah, that is kind of a hilarious kind of thought.
Yeah. I think they're very fun together. I really do. I think they have a ton of fun together. Will that lead to a potential engagement? Maybe. I'm done doubting Jeremy. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. He's done nothing but impress me and surpass my expectations. I'm done doubting him. I really am. So props to Jeremy. He just put on a clinic this one-on-one. You said it last week. You said, hey, I need you to step up and have the one-on-one date of the century. And he did. He clutched up. He took the coach's words to heart, and he put on a clinic. Shout to Jeremy. Let's do. I guess Jenn confronts Sam M. Then after that date, and this is where, again, if the nail wasn't already in the coffin, it is now. I have the quote now. The characteristic quote. I forgot I wrote it down. He said, "There's other people out there with the same characteristics as you." I mean, technically, yeah, you're not wrong. That's a fact. Good point, Sam. Point Sam, I guess. But there's also plenty of characteristics that are maybe not unique to her, but very special about her. Like there's funny people, there's charismatic people. Everyone has different qualities, but combinations of qualities are what make the person. And that's how we keep the main thing right there.
Yeah.
Tough.
He made everything about himself in that conversation. Still, like that was his last ditch effort, right? She was going in there with the intention of, if this conversation doesn't go well, he's getting sent home. And honestly, I think if the conversation goes well, he might get a rose and go to hometowns.
Yeah.
Right? It's probably that big of a difference.
And
all the way left, all the way right.
Shout out to Jenn for noticing. I think there was a little bit of backlash on the internet when Sam M's doing his Sam M stuff, where people are like, Jenn, wake up, see this? Let's give her some grace. Let's give her some room to operate. She got there. She figured it out. And she didn't see everything we saw, so can't blame her too much. And she eventually got to the point where she realized, hey, this is all bullshit. I think the one quote that sums up everything about Jenn and Sam M is when Jenn said, I could literally be anybody right now. Because everything Sam M has ever said could apply to any woman, any bachelorette, any girl that was there. There was never anything that was unique to Jenn. And that was the moment where Jenn realized, hey, this ain't it. The physical connection is there. Don't matter. And by the way, people stop saying I look like Sam M. I don't. That just popped in my brain. Please stop saying that. I don't. I don't think I do. Maybe I do a little bit. Do I?
I think it's the nose.
Okay.
And maybe the eyebrows.
All right.
And the fact that you look like any generic white guy.
Yeah, anytime there's a skinny, not even a skinny white dude, just there's a white dude on TV.
With like a long face, like a white dude with like a tall face.
Yeah, skinny faced white dude. They're like, oh, Wyatt looks like you. But I mean, again, I took it as a compliment because you got to be a certain level of hot to be on reality television. I don't know why that popped in my brain, but yeah, shout out to Jenn. She owned the moment. She stepped up when we needed her most, and she kicked Sam M to the curb. He said after being dumped, he was like, you know what? That's frustrating. He said it in the tone as if he was like still going to go to the rose ceremony. He's like, oh, that didn't go well. Like, yeah, no shit, dude. You're going home. And he also said it's not my fault.
Yeah, he kept saying a lot of those things, and like, you know, kind of I'll find love, and I'm like, is this dude trying to give himself the Bachelorette?
He's trying to manufacture a Bachelorette.
He was kind of saying some things that you normally would hear in a guy that would maybe get the Bachelorette, but clearly after that conversation and after this whole episode, he was not getting the Bachelorette.
Yeah, that was... Well, then we get to who eventually does get the Bachelorette. We didn't know it was the Bachelorette because then the rose ceremony happens.
Called it, literally texted it.
You did call it, whatever. We have the rose ceremony where first rose goes to Devin. Again, I think he was someone we thought was a lock heading into this. So at that point, Devin, Jeremy, and Marcus all had roses. And the final rose goes to Jonathan. That leaves Spencer, our super athletic D1 football player, pet portrait entrepreneur, goes home sadly, calls his mom, which was a wholesome moment. I think they should do that every time someone goes home. They should be like, hey, here's your mom on the phone, by the way. And then I would listen to all those. I almost cried during that moment. That was tough.
Yeah.
And then our new bachelor, Grant, goes home. And he got the Bachelorette. It was a pretty, I would say, underwhelming Bachelorette. It wasn't thrown in our face, like, obviously. I feel like in years past, there's been Bachelorettes where it's so clear cut. This is what they're trying to do here. Grant was pretty, not underwhelming, but reserved most of this season. And we talked a little bit about Grant at the beginning of this episode.
A few moments ago.
All right, guys, I started the recording a little bit early. Michael doesn't know that The Bachelor has been announced and that it is, spoiler warning, I guess, Grant. We'll see. I don't know where Michael is. I think he's peeing. Have you been on Twitter in the last 30 seconds?
Did they just announce it?
They announced it.
Wow, there we go. That's huge. I kind of called that. Didn't I call it?
I think you
I
did.
call it Grant?
What a weird way to announce it.
I mean, I did say he's getting the Bachelorette.
I think
you must have been about everybody.
You did say that about every single person. They're getting the Bachelorette. I feel like this was rushed to announce.
In his sweater too.
In
his sweater.
You know what? Hey, and now that I think about it, everyone left, we've had some kind of interaction with. I don't think I've had any interaction with Grant online.
Maybe that's why.
It has to be it.
Well, my first initial inkling of why I thought it was going to be Grant, week 3, he was on the Bachelor podcast with Joe and Serena. He was like the first contestant that got like a podcast with an ABC affiliated podcast. And so I was like, that's weird. Maybe they're auditioning him for like being a lead. So, and I obviously knew he wasn't going to win. Like, he just didn't have that in him. And then kind of the editing of that last 2 episodes, really, of him kind of late love bombing in a sense, but just like falling late and then kind of getting destroyed. And then tonight going out and saying, I want to find my person.
All right.
He's 30, but he looks younger than that.
He's 30?
Yeah.
Whoa.
But they can go anywhere with age.
Yeah.
They'll still have 24-year-olds. They'll still have 32, 33-year-olds. So I think it's going to be a great cast.
He's currently at 8,700 followers on Instagram. At the beginning of this recording, we will check back at the end. I bet he's at 12K at least.
Which is less than Jonathan. Jonathan's at like 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
Which Reality Steve tweeted Jonathan earlier tonight.
Can we?
Reality Steve tweeted Jonathan. Why do people trust that fool?
That downfall of Reality Steve. Oh, God bless.
Canceling Reality Steve. Sorry.
The downfall of Reality Steve is the only thing that could really bring me a bunch of joy this season because my team is just in the dumpster. He tweeted that out. I was hoping there was no announcement today because he tweeted out earlier. I didn't see it because I block him on everything, but apparently he tweeted out, and our producer Lizzie is in timeout. She's not here today. Weird start to this episode. We'll do an intro in a second. But Lizzie's not here today because we're punishing her for sending us a Reality Steve tweet. That's unacceptable in the Batchmaker world. We don't allow that. But I would have loved for him to just be totally wrong. He was wrong, but I would have loved for there just be no announcement. Would he be even better? I didn't see Grant as the Bachelor, but shall I say, I didn't see Jenn as the Bachelorette, and she is crushing it. So we have a full episode to get into. And we can preview Grant season for the next 7 months or whatever. So we don't have to worry about that. But what do you think about this? We've had like an hour to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, he had a strong start. Like the first 2 episodes, I feel like we were very strong. And then for 3-4 episodes, he kind of just disappeared. Like he was out of sight, out of mind. The only reason we were talking about him on here was like, we were like, did he get a haircut? Like, what's different about his hair? Because something was clearly different, right, in New Zealand.
They were like, hey, we're going to make you the Bachelor. Let's clean you up a little bit.
Pretty much, yeah. And then, obviously his one-on-one last episode, he got a lot of screen time and then kind of was like, I'm in love with this chick. Like, I need to tell her. And then this episode, he got a good amount of screen time, which was either like you're going to be sent home or you're going to move on. And he got sent home and now he's the Bachelor. So I don't like how they announce it, not during a after the final rose, or even at the men tell all. Do it at the men tell all.
I shouldn't have to click on a link to find out who the next Bachelor is.
Like, I'm really confused there why they did that.
My theory is it was gonna leak and they wanted to get ahead of it. They wanted to beat Reality Steve. That son of a bitch, Reality Steve.
Yeah, I guess. And maybe they're filming. Maybe they start filming literally before Men Tell. Oh, I guess the Men Tell All is filmed this week. Remember, it gets filmed the 14th.
That makes sense.
Wait. Yeah, it's filming the 14th, which is literally 2 days from now.
So yeah, they probably wanted to get ahead of that. That makes sense then.
So
yeah, I just don't love how they announced.
He'll probably be there.
I hope they give him a moment at that. That'd be nice. But yeah, okay. Let's stick to this season. We can preview Grant as we obviously get closer to that. Where does this go from here? Because
hometowns.
Oh, good point. God, it's the worst. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, we go to hometowns, but I don't have a good grasp of where this is going, and this is props to the editing producing team, because I think I felt the same way with Joey's season in the opposite direction, where I thought I knew where it was going. I thought it was Daisy. So now I have no idea. It could be any of these guys. Besides one person who I'm not going to say because I promised I would never doubt him again. But it could be anybody.
But by saying that,
who are you assuming? You're assuming I'm thinking of someone. I'm not. There's one person it couldn't be.
Stop. Stop.
Who are you assuming that it is?
This is you digging yourself a hole.
What?
You're digging your holes up in here.
You're making a lot of assumptions here.
You're zero.
You're making a lot. Yeah. You're making a lot of assumptions here, Mike. Which that's shame on you. There's one person it can't be. It could be. It could be, I guess. Again, the more I doubt this person, hypothetically, I'm not doubting them. They seem to win. So you're
giving them fuel.
Him.
Remember, it hasn't filmed yet. Remember,
it hasn't filmed yet. So yeah, we got to gas them up. Haters are his motivators. Again, I'm not going to name this person because who knows? It could be any of them. But I really think it could be any of them at this point. I don't know who the favorite is. Yeah. Who do you think the favorite is?
I feel like they're trying to throw, especially in that last preview. It was a very short preview.
Yeah.
It was a lot about like Marcus saying like, I only want to be, I want to make sure I want to fully be there or something like that. It feels like they're throwing us off with that. So they're kind of throwing us off like Marcus isn't it? But I mean, I don't know. I feel like Marcus is still the favorite. I think he's got to be
over power rank them.
I think Marcus and then I'd say Devin and Jonathan are probably tied.
Yeah.
I think they're in the same spot. I think
me personally, I would put Jeremy at number 1. But that's up to you, man.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. If I'm a betting man, I'd probably put money on her ending up alone.
Whoa! I would toss a future on Jonathan. If I was betting, because I feel like he would have good odds. Strictly
plus 1,000.
It's good.
Or what?
Yeah, I think that's good value. No, let's set odds.
I think plus 1,000.
Let's set betting odds right now. No, plus 1,000 is too much. They're in the final 4. I would say Marcus plus 250.
250.
Alone plus 300. Devin and Jonathan plus 400.
It's pretty good value for both those guys.
Jeremy minus 350. I'm never gonna doubt him again. Can't doubt him.
But you're never gonna bet on him.
Not gonna bet. It's not good value. It's not good value. I can't bet minus 350. That's not good value. Sorry, Jeremy. He can respect that. He's a money guy. It's not good value.
I actually do think I have a prediction, and I think with the whole what they've been teasing with at the last rose.
Let's hear it.
I think I know what it is.
Are you gonna stick to this for the next couple weeks?
And I'm gonna stick.
All right. What we got? Michael's final prediction.
She does not get engaged at the beach at wherever they film it in Puerto Rico or Mexico or Cuba or whatever. She does not get engaged. She gives out a final rose but she says, "You cannot marry me. I cannot let you propose to me." And she means what she says because she's standing on business, right?
Staying on business. Okay.
She's standing on business. I tried to do the sign language, but it didn't work. And then at the live finale, boom,
Proposal.
he proposes.
Who? Okay, but to make this a full prediction,
No,
who's
I'm not
the
saying
he?
who.
Who's the he?
I'll know after hometowns.
Okay. All right. I am
I'll
very
know that.
excited because starting next week, I will have poems for everyone who goes home. Those who didn't watch BachMakers last season, anyone who goes home during hometowns, because we've spent, or after hometowns, if you make the hometowns, we've spent enough time with you to get to know you, to love you, to nurture you. And the way I can give back to you is by writing you a nice poem when you get sent off. And hopefully I get some inspiration this week. I can write some nice poems about these 4 beautiful boys. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to get a little creative with the poems this season. And I think it's going to be really fun. So looking forward to that. I'm going to save my prediction for next week because I really genuinely have no idea where this is going to go. So your guess is as good as mine. Anything else we want to talk on before we get out of here?
Yeah, there's one thing. There's one thing I forgot to mention that I wrote down and I have to say because I was so rattled by it. It was on Marcus and Jen's date. Their dinner date was at the Mariners Stadium, right? And they're eating at home plate ish.
Looked like a normal Mariners game. Nobody there.
Yeah, exactly. And then she's like, "Wait, come with me." And I was like, okay, like she's just gonna give him this rose, right? And she's just come with me. They walk all the way up to some like 400s level, like row 1 on the third base side, like 400s level, like a shitty seat, like an objectively, like at a Mariners game, that seat's $8 when they were just at home plate of the field. She's like, why, producers? Why are you moving them up there? I know you got the shot with the fireworks, but you could have got that shot from the field. 100%. Fireworks go in the air. Why did you go to that pissed me off. I had to say that because that was just on my mind. I was like, why did you need to walk? How much time did it take to get from home plate to like the 400s level?
Yeah. I'm glad you got that off your chest. I really am.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, please go by. Keep the main thing merch, linked everywhere. We love you guys. We'll see you next week for hometowns, potentially with a special guest. Not confirmed, but potential special guest for next week's episode. See you then. Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we ended the recording, but right when we did that, we found out that Sam posted a video on Instagram. Feels like only appropriate after the way this episode went. We got to react to it. I'm thoroughly excited. I hope if he says keep the main thing in this video, it'll be the greatest thing to ever happen to me. I'll say it. All right, here we go, Mike. Lock it.
Guys, so my time on The Bachelorette is over, and I really just want to take this time to say thank you. And I want to start at the top with Jenn for showing me that I was capable of loving again after my past. It's something that I'm extremely grateful for. I wish that I was able to truly show how I felt in that moment right there, but that love that I carry it's visceral, it's instinctive, and it's beyond description, and it just
ferocious
setting, and that's okay. I really want to say thank you to my castmates. I made friends that I will hold on to forever, and for the fans that have still supported me through all of this, thank you, because that was not easy watching. So y'all's kindness has gone so much farther than what you know for me and for my family. And to my family, I love you guys. Thank you. What's up, guys?
All right.
That's it.
That was it. I mean,
not really an apology, I would say. Not really an apology video.
Let's
more
devil's advocate.
Oh.
Let me put the devil's advocate hat on. What would he apologize for? Genuinely.
Genuinely.
Genuine, no pun intended. But he was like a little dumb and like didn't have the right
selfish.
words.
I mean,
A little
yeah, very
selfish.
selfish and and I mean, he wasn't the kindest to all of the cast mates.
That's true. You're right.
You
I'm
know,
now remembering all the things he did. Maybe there's a little
so
bit.
I mean, he could have said, "I'm working on my behavior," and he could have said some things like that to save face. After listening to that video, first thing I think of is, you know, those videos that like when I tell you I jump straight to the comments section. That's the first thing I thought of. Like those comments got to be fire, right? Those comments, there's got to be some like a lot of hate in that comments, right? There's gonna be hate.
Ooh, they were limited. He limited the comments,
which means there was some hate. There was some hate at the start.
That's the thing. That's, I think, where we need to draw the line as a show is we can make fun of. I think it's fair game for us to make fun of everything that's presented to us on screen.
Yeah,
knowing that is a produced, edited show on a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are some people, weirdos, who take that off screen. That's the problem. Don't be those weirdos who direct hate his way because of how he was presented on a TV show. We'll make fun of him tilting, his little southern drawl, him changing accents. That's the show we are seeing. That's the entertainment value. Don't be idiots. Don't be stupid people. Be like, just be a good functional human being and recognize a TV show for as it is, a TV show. That's all I'll say with that. I guess the video is what it is. I also love his family because and he's just keeping the main thing.
He didn't say it.
He should have said it. That would have been great. All right, well, back to the episode.
Yeah.
I guess, unless you have anything else.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, he's human, and
exactly.
I think Jenn will go in on him at the men's tell-all, so don't worry about hating on him. I'm sure Jenn will tell him off and get a large crowd reaction at the men's tell-all.
Also, open invite if Sam M ever wants to come on this show, and I'll say this: he can have the floor if he wants 20 minutes to just roast us. That's fair. We got to keep this open as a two-way street. If we can watch him on TV and make fun of him, he can watch us on this silly little show and make fun of us. That seems fair. That seems like a fair.
Yeah,
so, Sam, if you want to come on, make fun of us, go for it. We're happy to take that.
Yeah.
So
keep the main thing the main thing.
Keep the main thing the main thing.